This here is a server. This is in fact an HP DL360 G7, or as you might say, what's left of it. Anyway, when I received this is another Curbled server, as I'm sure I'll say in the title, but in any case, I'm pretty sure it was the victim of a basement flood originally. And then my friend picked it up. It didn't work at that point. And then it sat outside for a while, and then I traded him a laptop for it, or what's left of it, because I knew I could fix it cheaply. But in any case, yes, as I received it, there was a motherboard, which has been removed, because that was... well, that thing looked gone before it sat outside. But in any case, we'll be rectifying that. Xeon E5620, just one of them. Fans, 2 power supplies, RAID backplane, cables. So I did clean everything up. I didn't spend too much time polishing everything, but there's no more dirt. All the loose rust is gone. When electronics rust, you know you're kind of got a bad problem. This cable I did have to repair because for some reason the insulation on exactly one wire was chewed away. I don't know if actually chewed or what. But in any case, that's all good now. So in this video you'll see me opening up the power supplies, taking a look inside, and then putting a new motherboard in, and then we'll go from there. If the power supplies were to not work, I do have a second one that I could pull out of my DL380 G6, because it's all the same power supply. But in any case, yes, I bought these heat sinks. I didn't get any heat sinks. They have been wet for a period of time. Okay, here we go. They both clicked, and that's what's supposed to happen. Obviously it's not a full test yet, but just a smoke test sort of thing. But that's good. There was actually some rust inside these, so it's good that there's no sort of casualties here. Okay, just one more quick test here. We'll turn it on once again. It occurred to me that the fans are probably going to still run. I don't know if you can even see it. I can't see it, but I can hear the fans. You probably just hear the cat. But yes, that's quite good. Very good. As many people who frequent this channel may know at this point, this here is a box. And oh glory, packing peanuts. Well, that's what you get for buying the cheapest one on eBay. At least at the time that I did purchase this. Oh god. Oh no. That's a mess. But I can deal with that later. I wonder how good packing peanuts would be for insulation. I guess probably not that great because, well, as they stand, they don't really block airflow in the plastic bags or fiberglass or other sorts of insulation. I guess asbestos, if you're daring enough, kind of would work better to block airflow because there's no big... well, you need small pockets of air, but you can't have big pockets of air. But anyway, I should shut up because I'm not an insulation expert. I'm sure if you want to see insulation experts, such things are on YouTube. You might notice that somebody was very hungry and there's a chunk missing from this motherboard. Have no fear. That's how it's supposed to be, because that's where the power supplies plug in. Okay, so we've got, let's see, is this pink bubble wrap or bubble wrap in a pink bag? Okay, it's pink bubble wrap. I don't know if pink is supposed to be electronic, like a color to represent electronic, electrostatic shielding, but I don't know. I see pink bags or pink bubble wrap used frequently to hold electronics. I guess that works. Ow! Ah, if I don't sandpaper my thumb off, jeez. I don't know if that shows, but ow. I do have to say, this bubble wrap doesn't exactly give the look of or feel of being electrostatically shielded. But I guess we'll find out, won't we? So let's see. I need to scoot these out. Okay. So as you know, the power supplies work, at least from a turning on and not exploding sort of standpoint, though they haven't been fully turned on. Let's see, I need screws. Okay, but let's see. There's SAS. Okay, SAS 1 through 4. 8 hard drives would be kinda cozy in this thing. But I suppose if you didn't have the CD drive and the other front stuff, you could do that. Oh great, I'm bleeding. Well, we know it's going to work because I've given the blood sacrifice. And plug this into here. Presumably if you had 8 drive backplane, you'd have both connectors here. Can this be scooched down? Probably used to be able to. Okay, well, good enough. Okay, so this thing has, let's see, CPU 1, that's not CPU, that's CPU 2, okay. I guess, can I just drop this in here, just for safekeeping? No. Oh, well, no. Okay, whatever, I'll just leave it out for now, because I'd rather have that covered. I actually was smart enough to bring a CPU cover out here. Just for the purposes of a quick test, we'll shove the CPU in there. No, I won't bother with thermal paste. With the ridiculous speed these fans are, it won't overheat. I'll come back and thermal paste it later. Yes, if you thought the other Curbled server was loud on the first power up, this one's going to be at least that loud, perhaps even louder. Perhaps way louder, depending if the bearings survived in these. I'm surprised how freely spinning they are, given what's happened to them. All the precipitation and potentially original flood, but I don't know. I think servers are a lot more resilient than people think. I mean, I get data center sort of things. You have really expensive stuff that you need to protect no matter what, but I don't know. I don't think people give servers enough credit. I don't have a cache card. That's about the only other thing. Oh no, it's not. I don't have riser card. If that's cheap, maybe I'll get one. I don't. Only 8 lanes total though. That's a bit weird. I think the idea is my friend actually has 2 cache cards, so I will try to acquire those from him. Let's see. I don't have a cover. That's a big thing, but you know what? This server can just be under a different server, and that'll take care of the airflow. Anyway, let's start with just one power supply. I figure that's probably best. Oh, right. I should probably screw in the motherboard. I'll do that, and we'll be back in just a moment. Well, as it happens, I am just stupid. I don't know how exactly it would work, but there is a 16-link PCI Express slot right there. Obviously, you may be able to plug a device into here like that, but, I mean, really, you need a riser. I think a couple of interesting things to note about this before I go ahead and do a power test, and before I get some RAM. One other interesting quirk, or perhaps feature, is that on the back here, there is 2 USB ports. I actually didn't notice that there was 2 before, but and then there's 4 5 network ports if you count the ILO. However, you might notice that 3 and 4 are combination NIC and PS2 ports. Now, I can think of ways that that would work, but why they have done that, I could not tell you. I mean, obviously there's some space constraints here, but if these got squished more together, you could fit at least a combination port there for PS2, but obviously I don't have any of those sort of connectors. I could probably make one. That's something interesting that I'll have to figure out. But in any case, I will go get some RAM, and then we will see if this explodes. Okay, so as can perhaps be seen, let me move the camera a little bit. We've got mouse, keyboard, RAM, and a monitor. So I'm going to start with the peripherals not plugged in, because while they are worthless, they are better than nothing. Though I actually really do like this monitor. And to be fair, the keyboard's pretty good as well. The mouse I'm indifferent to, but it's a mouse, and I've been hurting for mice lately. Okay, so here is plugging in the server in about 2 seconds. Okay, well, we got lights. That's good for some points, isn't it? Knowing what I do about my DL380 G6, it would not be expected for it to turn on right away immediately. It'll take a few seconds, but let's see. We got an amber power light on the front. Unlike Dell's, that's a good thing. It's not... okay. Flashing something. Oh, wouldn't it have been smart to look at this thing? And it tells me what's going on. Interlock lit up red. I have no idea what interlock is, but I'm going to assume that it probably is something to do with thinking the case is closed. So we're going to find that and probably tape it into whatever position it needs to be in. Unless it's dependent on a riser card, then we're kind of screwed. So it is indeed seeming to be that you must have a PCI Express riser card installed for the server to work. As you can see, it's still blinking. I've tried the other power supply, I've tried a different CPU, and that's just how it is. I even tried playing with every switch on that dip switch thing, and none of them forced it to turn on, so I guess we're screwed for now. But anyway, yes, that will be it until I get the riser. It's at least not expensive. It's only like $10, so it's alright. Just wish I had known it ahead of time so I could have ordered it. But yes, we shall return. As you can see, we have returned, and I've gotten the part that I needed. I'm pretty sure I've seen pictures of ones that did have a switch, but this one must just be shorted because there is no pin for it to tell if the cover's on or not. Let's see. Might help to try to figure out what way this goes in. Oh, okay. I apparently need to remove some screws. I guess that explains why I had to come up with so many screws for there, because they didn't actually go there. So I shall return in a moment. Okay, so I do believe that I removed the 2 screws that I needed to. So we will go ahead and attempt to install this now, making sure that I'm possibly putting it in the right way. Okay, good so far. There we go. So anyway, yeah, I believe, like I said, that this riser board should be all that's required to to go ahead and use this. I think it's just because stuff is slightly bent out of shape, but the riser cage on my other HP server is also very, very difficult to get the screws in. But anyway, those are some fat capacitors. I don't really think that the previous motherboard had such fat capacitors, but I guess maybe it did. So, for ventilation's sake, I guess I'll just remove the power supply that I intend to not use, at least for now. And I guess I'll get some power cords and such, and we'll see what happens. Consider this your warning that this will probably be fairly loud. And yes, I'm sorry that the lighting is quite trash, but there's a lot going on up here. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got an orange light. What light is that? That's interlock. Interlock went off. Amber power light, which is a good sign. I have not connected my peripherals yet, but as soon as it starts and doesn't immediately explode, I will do so. And I'm just kind of waiting to see if it'll turn on by itself. I guess I'll push the power button. Okay. Oh. Fan 3 is unhappy. Well, it's not seated, that would be why. And it's chirping. I'll just flip the switch there. I've just connected my monitor and my keyboard because it passed the no immediate explosions test, and I shall try to properly seat that. I guess that's good, I don't know, but we'll find out. Okay. One thing that's always a bit weird is how there's no, like, official symbol that, like, I'm ready to turn on. It's just a guess, at best. Okay, there it goes. The fans do kind of sound like they're blowing stuff out of them, but it's still chirping. So I've removed all the memory, and it's still chirping and not complaining about memory at all. So I would take this to mean that the processor is dead, which honestly isn't that surprising, because honestly I don't even know if the processor is from this. It's from something, of course, but it definitely is not necessarily this. So anyway. Okay, so we're back here. I have installed the terrible E5504, and we will see if it happens to work. Well, it's not chirping. I would take that to be a good sign. Also, there's no lights. So we'll focus our attention on that very far away monitor. Don't worry, if the power supply happens to explode, I'm sure you'll still see the flames. That focus is probably going to be awful until there's something displaying on the monitor, so maybe I will zoom it back out until that occurs. If that occurs. Oh my gosh. I can tell that the bearings are not particularly happy in there. Let's see. There's still little to no thermal paste going on, but you know, if I kill this processor, who cares? It costs, like, literally no money. Maybe I should turn this light off. There we go. Okay. see, what are we going to be to enter setup here? Oh right, I forgot that that's a thing. Ambient temperature, 11 Celsius. F9, that sounds right. Sure, I'll press any key. And would you look at that, we made it into system setup. And we'll have a full look through this in a bit, but for now, I must go. Okay, so here we are once again. I'll connect power to the server. I suppose I shall turn it on, and we will finally have our look at the BIOS settings. We have to wait for its mystery amount of time to pass, and then it probably will turn on its own because I have hit the power button now. There we go. It's completely wild to me how quiet this thing wants to be idle, and this is the default setting. I mean, I presume there's no way it could possibly get any quieter than this, but like I guess you can probably see over there, I've got the HP 2U server, and granted, I think with that server in particular, it changes the fans a lot based on the amount of add-in cards you have, and I believe that has 2, and it has both risers as well. But yes, anyway, this one's booting up now. I'll have to keep in mind the warmth of this CPU, because not only does it have no thermal paste, but it's one of those terrible ones too. I may try cleaning the contacts on this one, as long as this is the better one. And just, oh boy. It might do a fair bit of that, because I'm sure it's if it has any sense of itself at all, it'll probably realize that the CPU isn't going to be exactly cold. Maybe I can do a little bit to help that. Just put that there so that way air is directly hitting the heatsink. But yes, so it is I mean, I haven't tested this one under operating conditions yet, but power supplies surprisingly both work, it seems. And there's that familiar HP happy beep beep. Oh god, did I miss that again? Oh no. I think my 2U HP, the DL380 G6, you have to hit, I think you have to hit F9 the first time, and then you have to hit it again or it'll just boot. Okay, so you can see it's a DL360 G7. I'll have to probably disable the ILO security, because I would imagine my password that's tied to this thing is different. Hold on, this... I was wondering what the little light on the status panel here was, but it's network. That explains stuff. Okay, so yes, we've got 6 gigabytes of RAM and our crappy processor, which, I mean, for what it's worth, it's not too bad, but it's really bad compared to what especially a server like this can take. But it works. I mean, for desktop usage, it would be a fairly okay processor, but still bad. System options, serial port options. Sure. Virtual serial port. Must be for the ILO console? I don't know. Network boot. That's fine with me, and that'll be faster anyway. There was this weird thing where I had to have that enabled on the 2U server, back when that was running server 2003, because I don't know, the network cards that didn't have network boot enabled will just disappear, but I think that was on the old motherboard, and as you know if you've watched that video, that motherboard was questionable. Advanced ECC support, yeah, I guess so. I definitely don't want mirrored memory, and I think lockstep is kind of a similar concept. I could be wrong. USB 2.0, yes. I find it highly unlikely that I'd have internal stuff connected, but yeah, I guess external first. Let's see. Enabled. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yes, because this is not a laptop keyboard. Though to be fair, that option is rightly there, because it wouldn't be crazy to think about like those IBM ThinkPad style keyboards with the track point built in being used, and those of course don't have a number pad, at least most of them don't. Okay, custom, I'm surprised it defaults to that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think OS control mode, I'll probably play around with it though. Yeah, I don't generally keep two power supplies in servers because, well, it is extra power being used if it's connected at all, so. And it probably does slightly better ventilation with a gaping hole rather than a power supply there. Okay, so C6 is definitely what I want, at least, and probably what at least most sane people want, because it completely powers down the processor. C1 is apparently enhanced halt, which I did already get. That was my guess, that lower numbers meant higher power. Package state, yeah, C6, sure. Maximum memory, best frequency, whatever. I don't think I have enough RAM for that to make a noticeable difference in power. Might as well get the better performance anyway. I don't think I want. Well, I don't know. Maybe I want interleaving. I guess. Yeah. Oh right, that's like channel interleave. Okay. Yeah. I don't think. I don't have. I mean, there's internal PCI cards, PCI Express cards, sure, but I don't think forcing them down is going to save that much. I'm not using HP dynamic power savings. Does it tell me what that is? Oh, okay. Item specific help is beautiful. Let me zoom in, because I didn't realize that was that zoomed out. Okay. Let me see what it tells me about this then. Okay, I see. Man, we're only on the second item here, but that doesn't really matter. This doesn't really matter. Let's see. Initial program load. There is no hard drive presently, so it's not exactly going to be booting from it. So that's probably fine, because there's a thing to bypass it, I'm pretty sure anyway. Only one boot controller. You might be able to have two in here. Well, no, because the storage controller is on the board, but you could obviously have a PCI Express one, And if you hate yourself, I guess you could use the SATA port on a server. Though I'm surprised that didn't show up. Maybe because, I don't know, maybe it's just shunned to not exist. I didn't set that time. I mean, the time itself is wrong, but I'm not going to bother changing the time because I plan to put, well, any modern operating system will do it, but I plan to put Windows on this because I think I want to do a games server with this, just have it running only when it needs to be. Watchdog, basically, yeah. Well, I think Dell calls it Watchdog. But Watchdog's probably the more generic term anyway. Power button, yeah. Well, no, because actually, I mean, I'll set it to random delay, but I don't actually want automatic power on because I don't necessarily want it on all the time. Unlike the other two. Okay. Network server mode. Is that like where you can't get into the BIOS? Oh, disables the keyboard. Oh, right. Okay. I don't know if this is what it means, but it probably just means any keyboard, like a USB legacy virtual keyboard port, I guess you'd say. Yeah, that doesn't matter. What is this? Is it, oh, that. Huh. I guess this must support Server 2003 then. I guess that's not crazy because the PowerEdge R710 is basically more or less the same generation as this, and it does. Okay, no, because that will be painful. Let me make sure it's on. Okay. Hello. Okay. Oh yeah, current and backup ROM. As my previous motherboard for the DL380 would tell you, the backup ROM isn't very useful because it's on the same chip. Though ultimately, well, I guess a backup ROM still would have helped. Hide option, no. That'll just be easier. Video options. Not going to be putting a video card in this because it's a games server, not a games client. Optimal cooling, increased cooling, and then I think it's probably going to be the same story as the DL380, where if you do the BIOS update, you can unlock maximum cooling. I do wonder if maybe this serial number would be the ILO2 default password, but if this thing has been not reset, then that may not matter anyway. Okay. I don't think I could usefully... I don't think in practice I could enable this option because I presently don't have the cache card, and even if I did, it might refuse to do anything with it if I don't have the battery. System, no. Just wondering what was supported, and it's somewhat strange to me things that don't have these written out in like the language that they are. Though I guess to get to utility language, you must have at least either good luck with guessing or kind of know enough English to figure out what stuff is. So I guess maybe it doesn't matter. I've spent a lot of time in the BIOS apparently. Let's see. one thing is I don't have a cable for the CD drive, so I don't know what I'll do. I definitely want to see if that works, but it's going to be too much effort to pull the cable from something else, because the R710 is on the bottom, and the DL380 has a power supply and 2 hard drives sitting on top of it. So, I just won't. But wait, there's more, of course, because the configuration does not end quite yet. There's, of course, option ROMs to configure. However, I'll spare you the SAS controller because I don't have any drives plugged in presently, so that wouldn't be very exciting. I'll probably just slap a random laptop hard drive in this. I don't... Technically, I have one spare SAS drive, but that is the one spare SAS drive for my web server's RAID array. So I don't think I'll take that. Hey, it says hello. Is that port 1? I don't know. iSCSI, there you go. I don't know what exactly I was looking for in here. I wonder if I set this to blinking. Oh, hey, the thing here blinks too. That's interesting. I don't know what I figured I'd see in here, but now we're probably going to have to go through the boot of it again. ILO 3 F8 to configure. I think I missed it. This will certainly do something. And I did try to get Stress Linux working, and I failed. Though I kind of just gave up because I was bored with it for now, but it's just a matter of changing the versions to be correct. But let's see, what's something kind of... I mean, a memory test would certainly do. No. That doesn't work. That would work, but... I guess a memory test it is. Okay. Okay, it does show the CPU temperature. That's cool. Well, the CPU isn't exactly cool. That heatsink is somewhat warm, but it definitely should be hotter given the temperature of the CPU. So obviously, thermal paste is probably in your best interest to be considered non-optional. Now, I know the memory's good, so there's no point of actually doing this test. I just wanted to see what the CPU temp... Well, see if it would overheat or not, and I don't know. I'm going to guess that it's probably going to peak at like 70 or something, but obviously might not be a full, complete, maxed out load of the CPU, but it's worth something. Future plans for this server are probably going to consist of installing, as I said, Windows. I'm not completely sure what version will stick to the wall per se, but I have a free version of Server 2022 from school, so I might as well have a play around with that. I also have Server 2019 and 2016, I think, as well. Now I know what you're thinking. Server 2022, that's Windows 10 based. Who are you, and what did you do with the real i430VX? And well, I don't know. I don't think Windows has been a true server OS since Server 2003, because, I don't know, classic theme, yes, you can get that to 08 R2, but the lack of, like, the small login box that's like a dialog box, that just kind of ruins Windows Server for me, but what can you do? But it'll run game servers fine, and I won't have to spend much time looking at it. Just a quick update here, that I have gotten the server to work, at least enough to post with the old CPU, and that will show in just a moment, most likely. Unless it happens to bake itself before then. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it has absolutely no thermal paste. There's a little bit on the other one. But anyway, yes. Thank you for watching, and have a good day, or night, or whatever.